BCTV and WB&H thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business, with branches in Bedford, Manchester, Nashua, and Derry. PrimaryBankNH.com. Delta Dental, providing easy access to quality dental coverage for every smile, from your younger years to your golden years, with the nation's largest provider network. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing healthcare to meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Murphy's Tap Room and Carriage House Event Center, where meals turn into moments and conversations last a little longer. Murphy'sTapRoom.com.
He can run things at the left side. Now Helton stings the top corner. Hodgson Rogers, she gets the edge, tries to split the defenders, does. Bounce shot is good.
Back kicks, deals, fastball swung on and missed. Oh, big hit there from Page, and that's going to go over the wall.
Now Muir looks in the middle, finds Montagano, and she buries Spotty's up top as Green runs through all of them. Beautiful pass backside, and Kahn with another save. Welcome to Bedford High School here on a beautiful spring afternoon, Friday, April 17th, as we're getting ready to bring the girls' varsity lacrosse game to you live as they host the Londonderry High School Lancers. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger, joined here in the booth today by Emily O'Keefe, now Whittier. Emily, appreciate you joining me. Emily is a Bedford High School alumni and an 18 graduate of the high school, as well as the current UNH club coach. Emily, it's great to have you in the booth today. What are you thinking about today's action?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate that intro. I'm excited. I mean, Londonderry is always a pretty big powerhouse. Bedford's a big lacrosse powerhouse, so I think this is going to be a pretty good matchup. I was looking at some of the games that they've played so far, so I think we're gonna be in for a treat today.
Some of those games they've played so far, as Bedford is coming in at 1-1, they beat Dover 9-6 and then fell to Kennebunk 12-5. The Lancers come in with an 0-1 mark, just their second game of the season today. They lost to Bishop Girton 13-9, so a tough match to start the season for them. Teams are in their huddles and breaking. We are just about ready for the opening draw. We'll get things started here momentarily. Starters were announced just a few moments ago. In net for the Bulldogs, Vi Hodgson-Rogers, the senior, and then we'll have Carly Hodgson-Rogers, number 1, number 2, Eloise Montagano, Molly Muir, number 3, number 4, Peyton Baldock, Liza Montagano, number 8, as well as Melanie Gibson, number 11, Mary Lenti, 13, Andy Nugent, 14, Emerson Drown, 19, Paige Gibson, 22, and Kathleen De Silva, 35. We'll try to get to the Londonderry starters here in just a moment after the draw. 12 minutes on the board. We're ready for the first quarter. Taking the draw for the Lancers, Eris Delory.
And number 13, Mary Lunty for Bedford.
And we are underway. Lenti will take it down. Gets the loose ball, draw control for her. Gets it ahead quickly to Eloise Montagano. They'll settle things down. See what they can do in their first settled offensive possession. Bring it behind. Liza Montagano behind. They wheel it back around. In net today for the Lancers, Molly Tharrington, number 23, as Molly Muir fires it down that left side.
Pretty strong man-to-man by Londonderry.
Good patience by the Bulldogs too, and a nice takeaway here. Getting the stick up and in the passing lane. Loose ball goes down to Lexi Patikula. She'll leg it into the offensive end for the Lancers.
Oh boy.
Head man, they have an odd man backside.
Nice save.
Great save by Vi Hodgson-Rogers. That could have been trouble for the Bulldogs as the Lancers were trying to take advantage of an odd man. Backside Annabelle Malia had a great opportunity, but Hodgson Rogers was there and snuffed it out. Off a Bedford Bulldog foot on the near sideline, so the Lancers will pick it up. It's Haley Doyle.
Really good transition by the Londonderry Lancers on that ground ball pickup.
Makes it easier when you have the speed like Patty Kula was showing.
Absolutely.
We have a foul here. They come near side to back to Doyle. Doyle will leg it up and settle things down. Tough sun angle for Vi Hodgson Rogers in cage as she has the sun coming down to her top right. It'll be something to watch as both teams should try to take advantage of that here in the first half. Certainly the Lancers here in the first quarter.
Good defense.
Good help from those adjacent slides, I agree. Cora Rogers looking to go one-on-one, but the defense was creating that wall. They zip it around and bring it top side from X. Inside roll, good D. Defender fell down, but unable to take advantage was Malia.
Two strong defensive sets, both teams so far. Looks like they're sticking to their men really well right now.
Here's Butler back to the middle. Little face dodge and a goal. Great move by Delory.
Excellent move.
Lancers will go up 1-0.
Their ball movement looked good. Defense looks strong on white, so this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup.
Londonderry goal for number 15, Eris Delory.
So 9:21 left here in the first quarter, 1-0 Londonderry. On a great individual move from top center, Eris Delory. Face dodge, got some space, got her hands free and was able to rip hips high on Hodgson Rogers.
I always say as a coach, the key to women's lacrosse, girls lacrosse, is ground balls and draw control. So I'm keeping track of both of those, see where we're at the end of each quarter.
Draw control this time goes to the Lancers. To the goal scorer, Eris Delory. She moves it up quickly to Rogers. And the Lancers will have another settled situation on offense.
White staying with them pretty well. Good ball movement on Londonderry.
Rip.
Nice
high
rip
side.
from the high side.
Beautiful shot, Lexi Patakula. Little move to get her right hand free. Looks like she went over the shoulder of Hodgson Rogers, and it was. Top left, Hodgson Rogers just couldn't catch up, and it's 2-0.
Lancer goal for number 5, Lexi
Lancers.
Patakula.
1-1 on the draw control. Going to be interesting here to see what we get. I think that they're going to try to get it on the ground, and it's going to be a foot race. But they got a tall draw taker on Londonderry.
Let's watch it closely here. Teammates repositioning around the edge of the circle, and there it was. Quick ground ball by the Lancers.
Looks like Lenti was trying to take that one off for herself, but couldn't quite get there.
Rogers will settle things for the Lancers. They'll have some patience. Near side, here's Doyle. Butler again. Far side. Patty Kula. Tries to get to her right side
Nice
again.
crash.
Good adjacent help.
Got to think the sun's got to be playing a role over here, so Bedford's going to have to capitalize when we switch sides in 8 minutes.
Absolutely. You can see the shadows as they're cast from the players and the light stanchion. Tough spot here.
Oh, nice.
Rogers drops it briefly, but then recovers. Gets a pick, shoots high. Over the cage. Closest to it where it goes out and when it goes out on the shot. It awards the ball to the Lancers. That was Lillian Chiara Mataro. Back up top to Delory.
1v1.
Gets to a right
High
hand
shot.
and buries. Low left. Delory's second on the day.
Hodge and Rogers were there, but looked like a pretty good ISO on Londonderry for her to take that ripper bottom left.
Tough angle, too. The defender did a nice job filtering that to the outside alley and lower angle, trying to give your goalie a better shot at it, but Hodgson Rogers couldn't catch up to it. Delory has her second on the day. So 3-0, the Bulldogs in a hole early here in this first quarter with 7:40 to go in the first.
Looks like Bedford's keeping same people on the draw circle. See what we get here. Lenti one, yep, right to herself.
Mary Lenti, great job on the draw control.
Oh, she's going all the way.
The first defender runs into a wall with the second, and the ball goes down for a ground ball. Controlled there nicely by Paige Gibson. And they'll settle things down behind. They're going to need to compose themselves on offense here, see if they can get a good look, as it's been all Londonderry so far. These first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Definitely going to need to capitalize, move the ball fast here, see what they do. Going to run a play.
Up top here for Lenti.
Looked like an attempt at a draw and dump.
Far side here is Montagano. She gets the edge, draws a crowd, bounce shot save. Farrington comes up with it, gets her shoulder on that bounce shot. It glances high, but the Bulldogs are there for the loose ball. Lenti again, gets to her right. Good help. That's got to be something. It sure is. Legal check up top, and Lenti will have a free position on the 8-meter. Ooh, and a yellow card.
Ooh.
I didn't really expect that.
Yeah, me either. Looked like a pretty good crash, though, on Londonderry. Everybody was there. Bedford needs to look outside for some off-ball cutters, but lucky here to get a nice 8-meter shot.
There's Delory, the scorer of 2 goals here early, will get sent off with that yellow. 6:36 to go. The Bulldogs trail 3-0. Lenti can't get the shot off. And I believe there was a crease violation as Lenti didn't get the shot off. So it stays 3-0. Londonderry will try to clear it out.
8 meters are a tough one, but I think in this case you just got to rip it.
Ouch, that one looked like it got lost in the sun there.
Lenti picks it up.
Great job on the Lucy there for Lenti.
Both teams doing an excellent job on the transitions. The ball is pretty successfully getting down the field into the red zone. Let's see.
Keeping it hot here. Near side, Drown, and now behind. Here's Gibson. She'll wait and settle. Cutter through the middle, tough shot, tough
Risky
pass to make. Yeah, Lenti couldn't quite grab it in the midst of 3 defenders. It looked like there was a hold or...
Yeah, a little bit of a ground ball fight there.
Empty check, perhaps.
But here we go, back up, foot race.
Bounce pass up the side.
Ooh.
We're gonna get a foul called on De Silva as she pushes from behind. Doyle will pick it up. That's Patty Kula.
Lots of white shirts around blue right now, but not looking to move the ball. A little bit of a tougher transition for Londonderry.
Good hustle on the ride here for the Bulldogs as they're getting back and trying to make it a bit harder, and the Lancers are forced to move it to the near side, and they finally clear it into the offensive end.
Bedford's got to hold them here. Got about 4 minutes left to play, so try not to dig a little bit deeper into this hole. Londonderry's moving the ball well. Looks like everybody's pretty goal hungry.
And again, the Lancers are down a player as the yellow card for Delory is still being served, and now it's finally released as you see the player running in from the box. That is Delory. Butler picks up that ground ball and will settle things down as that penalty time has expired.
We'll have to see here what Bedford can do next time if there's another yellow card on the field. When you're man up, gotta capitalize. Londonderry did a very good job of moving the ball around, not going to net, waiting out the clock.
Rogers now rolls to her right, sees the cutter, can't quite squeeze it, was Patty Kula. Here's Doyle up top, now back to Rogers. Near side for Butler.
Looks like they're about to get into something here.
Here's Malia, nice defense there.
Very good
Causes the
defense.
turnover, great job by Andy Nugent. Got the ball on the ground, chased down the ground ball as well, and now she looks to clear. She's going to get double teamed here on the near side. Need to roll back, and she does before she steps out of bounds.
She's
Not out of
looking
the
for
woods
help,
yet,
but
though,
nobody's
yeah.
there. Here we go. Peyton Bulldog up the field.
Not
Looks like-
attracting any defenders quite yet.
Yeah.
Gets all the way to the offensive zone, and now to Liza Montagano.
Very good job by White getting the ball up the field. Oh,
Middle, beautiful
Oh.
shot off the crossbar.
oh
Harrington
man.
got lucky there. We'll have to see that one on the replay, but that was a nice feed from behind.
Excellent feed, number 8, Liza Montagano.
Lucy in the midfield there. Looks like that was Paige Gibson that couldn't quite capitalize. Nice defense there on Rogers to force her to her offside. And now a wayward pass.
Stays on sides. Excellent
Sure does.
work.
Eloise Montagano scoops up that ground ball and gets possession for the Bulldogs. Molly Leone couldn't quite keep it out of Montagano's stick. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the first. 3-0 Lancers is your score. Lancers capitalizing in those first 5 to 6 minutes of this quarter, but it's been kind of quiet the last 4 or 5.
Definitely need a White goal here. Keep this game super competitive. We got, oh,
Good dodge down low. Ball pops out. We're going to get a
Londonderry is
foul.
everywhere. Those blue jerseys are all over White inside that 8-meter.
Now an 8-meter for Eloise Montagano. Top center. Great shooting position. Takes a couple cradles, gets the shot off
Excellent
and scores.
work.
Good finish there by Eloise Montagano, and that's the goal you were talking about. The Bedford Bulldogs needed to stem the tide, and there they do it.
Yeah, that was a great work by White getting the ball up the field. Eloise Montagano, excellent ground ball, right over staying on sides. Moves the ball up excellently, ends up with a goal, 3-1.
It's great to see those hustle plays rewarded on the other end.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, scooping that GB. Like you said, staying on sides takes the wherewithal, strength, and balance to not go offside.
And the refs definitely like to call that. That's one that they're going to get you on just because that can change the momentum of the game, as we just saw that there.
Sure. Back to the draw circle. Lenti and Delory didn't go high enough there, so we'll redraw.
Looks like Lenti's switching her stick out. She's got a draw stick, and then there's some defender swapping. I wonder if we're going to see a tied draw control here with Bedford getting the ball.
Gets higher that
just
time.
misses it.
And Rogers will control.
Rogers got some height on Lenti there, but it was a good fight.
Butler, far side, Doyle. Patty Kula will work it all the way around the outside. Here's Malia behind.
Oh, excellent
Feed in the middle.
defense.
Nice job.
Can't quite come up with it on White.
Melanie Gibson.
Oh,
But yes, absolutely. Ground ball in the middle, picked up by Summer Butler, and she finishes right over top of Hodgson Rogers. Squirted out of the stick of Nugent, right into the stick of Butler. And Butler capitalizes. 4-1 Londonderry.
down in the critical scoring area. It's got to be tough. You got to come up with those ground balls. Can be consequential.
Tough
like
one
we saw it there.
Yeah, Nugent was there.
She
Hustle
was.
Play. She had it in her stick. It just squirted out at the wrong moment as she tried to cradle. And unfortunately, right into Butler's stick.
Yep. Excellent work on Bedford, though, crashing. Everybody was there. Just an unlucky situation. Oh, we're switching up the draw. We got Liza Montagano taking it this time. Ground ball fight. Ooh, looks like it's going to be White's ball.
Carly Hodgson Rogers comes away with a great hustle there for the senior midfielder.
50 seconds to play. Let's see if Bedford can get one up on the board, get this game a little bit closer.
They get it all the way behind for Gibson.
Looks like they're running a play.
Little inside move, tries to dip the shoulder.
Ooh,
And
crease
a crease
violation by number 2.
Tough one for Eloise Montagano there, the senior attacker. Steps into the crease, and we know that's not allowed.
Looked like a good play, but there was a lot of blue jerseys on her on that one.
Avery Stoll near side. She gets absolutely mauled. 2 defenders there for the Bulldogs trying to prevent the clear.
13 seconds left to play. Londonderry's trying to move the ball up the field. Successful transition.
Great look to an open Butler. And now.
Oh boy, we're getting in the 8. Can't get a shot off.
Great defense to help crowd that, crash into the middle, and prevent the shot there. But we'll end the first quarter. 4-1 is your score after 1. The Lancers ahead of the Bulldogs here on a Friday afternoon. Emily, thoughts from that first quarter?
I thought it looked good. Very competitive on both sides. Londonderry is moving the ball really well on offense. They're finding critical scoring opportunities as reflected in the score. I think Bedford needs to move the ball a little bit more on attack, and we got to pick up those ground balls, and it's going to be all the difference.
Yeah, honestly, that last one, kind of a tough one there.
Super
as
tough.
Squirted right out of Nugent's stick. Otherwise, it's a 3-1 game, 2-goal game, not
Absolutely.
too bad. Not too bad, but that last one really hurt, especially after Bedford had come back and scored a goal after the Lancers scored the first 3. Getting on the scoreboard itself was an achievement. So more to come. A couple of highlights from that first half are going to be showing, but as those are playing, we want to take a moment to thank our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. That's Primary Bank, Northeast Delta Dental, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Murphy's Taproom and Carriage House Event Center. Really appreciate their support for all of our live sports coverage on BCTV and WBNH. Wanted to make sure that we hit some of the upcoming broadcasts. Next time you'll see the girls lacrosse team will be against Bishop Girton as they come to town on Wednesday, May 6th. That's a 5:30 p.m. draw for the girls. That'll be a tough one there, as the Bishop Girton Cardinals are traditionally one of the powerhouses in New Hampshire.
Absolutely.
Some other sports across the board. We'll have the softball game versus the Alvern Broncos on Monday the 20th, 4 p.m. first pitch. The boys lacrosse team will take on the Manchester Kings. That's a combination, I believe, of Memorial and Central. That team will play against the boys lacrosse team on Wednesday the 22nd at 4 p.m. And then the baseball team will take on the Crimson from Concord. That'll be Monday, April 27th, first pitch at 4:30. You can watch all this action live on BCTV, channels 8 and 1072 HD on cable, or the BCTV app after the game. So please tune in to your favorite sports, or all of the sports if you want. We love having that viewership, and obviously, you know, the team at BCTV appreciates when everybody tunes in. So thoughts on this second quarter? What kind of adjustments is Coach Hodgson going to make in order to get more efficient offensive possessions, perhaps put a little pressure on the Londonderry offense? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little mix-up on the draw. I think I can see it right now. Liza Montagno is going to take a couple here, but I think they got to switch it up. Draw control is going to be a big difference in this game, and the momentum shift that we're going to see here. They're moving the ball well on attack. The defense looks good. They're crashing well. Their adjacents are sliding. It's just going to be a matter of getting those balls in the back of the net on the other side. And maybe this will be an advantage here with the sun in Londonderry's eyes.
I was just about to ask about that. We mentioned it a couple times during that first quarter, the sun getting lower and lower on the horizon off to our right, and clearly going to affect the goalkeeper's vision down to our left, as Tharrington will have her first opportunity to stare into that sunlight with a yellow ball coming fast at her. Controlled here by the Lancers. Delory doing a nice job using that long and lean frame. That ball goes high. She's able to get that stick higher than, in this case, Montagno.
Delory's having a good day. She's got quite a few draw controls, ground balls, and a couple goals in the back of the net here.
2 Gs to go along with those draw controls, and now we're going to get a wayward pass.
Tough on that ground ball right at the restraining line. Lenti couldn't come up with it.
The Lancers will attack from behind. Up top for Rogers.
Looks like we got an ISO, might need a slide here. Oh.
Good dump in the middle. Butler is able to cash. Butler from Rogers. Nice little draw and dump as Butler timed her cut beautifully.
Yep.
Got the stick up and out. showed Rogers where she wanted that pass and was able to finish.
Londonderry goal
Miron
for
Butler
Summer Butler, assisted by
got caught
Cora
looking a
Rogers.
little bit too close to the ball carrier. Her girl snuck right behind her, and that ended up being a goal for Londonderry. It's a tough go. I think, you know, what do you do in that situation? Do you slide? Do you stay with your girl? You kind of got to draw. You got to take a choice, and she took one, and unfortunately, it resulted in a goal. But that happens. It's lacrosse.
And that's when you're hoping to have backside defensive help from
That's right.
the offside, slide, getting that second slide, we usually call it, on the men's side.
Yeah, second slide. I think that was just a tough go. Muir looked like she was there. She was trying to help on that offside, but she snuck right through both defenders.
So Butler, 2 goals in a row. Score is 5-1 Lancers now, with 10:30 to go here in the first half. Butler looks to ISO up top. Now she dishes to Patty Kula. Patty Kula gets a rifle off and finds the back of the net. Her second on the day. Just a quick little move to her strong right hand. Little stutter step. Gets her hands free and buries 6-1 Lancers early in the second quarter here.
We talked about it before, draw control and ground balls, and right now the Lancers are dominating the draw control. I think that we need to see a change here on Bedford. A little bit tighter on the defense, on the cutters, off ball. Londonderry's moving well, off ball movement, and they're looking good.
And that change you called for is happening. Mary Lenti back to the draw for the Bulldogs. Delory has been dominant so far, but Lenti will come away with the control for the Bulldogs.
Lenti's had some luck. She doesn't put it too high. I think she's trying to do that on purpose because we got Delory's pretty tall in there, so she's trying to keep it a little bit lower and pick up that ground ball. Looks good for Bedford.
Montagano goes to the cage and buries. Beautiful individual effort. Eloise Montagano picks up her second. So 2 goals for the senior attacker. Looked like the Londonderry defense was expecting them to settle things down, work it around the outside, and nobody was looking to help on defense there. And Montagano picks up the second goal on the day for her.
She snuck right through.
Bedford goal number 2.
She's got some speed.
Montagano.
Phenomenal athlete. Great shot. I think she's played lacrosse a long, long time, so that showed right there. Just driving straight to the net with confidence, hitting it right bottom left.
And we can see Tharrington shielding her eyes from the sun at this point in time. Not sure if it played in there, but this quarter she's staring directly into it.
Yeah, Bedford's got to take advantage of that here. Let's see if we can win another draw.
Lenti,
self-serve.
Control. Nice job there. Back to Eloise Montagano. She wants to do it again. Forgot the ball that time. Good defense by Haley Doyle.
Looks like Londonderry's playing out pretty far. They're exceeding that 12 meter here, so Bedford's going to have to move the ball fast. That's what you got to do to get away from this kind of defense.
That's the Lancers saying, look, I don't think you have the stick skills to beat us or the speed to beat us, as they extend out and put pressure on these offensive Bulldog players.
Got to see some white off-ball movement in order for them to capitalize here. Looks like Eloise is looking for somebody to do something, but...
Tries to get a little pick and roll.
All right. A little bit of a push. Indirect.
Out on the 12-meter.
Beautiful draw and dump.
Lenti can't get a shot off, though.
They keep their advantage. Eloise in the middle.
Good pass, good
Beautiful.
catch, good shot.
She likes that corner.
Barry's low left. And the Bulldogs, little 2-goal run here. They're back to within 6-3. And that's Montagano for the Hattie already.
Eloise Montagano, assisted by number 19, Emerson Drown.
Emerson Drown with a beautiful feed.
That was a tough catch for Montagano in traffic, surrounded by 2 or 3 defenders.
Yeah.
Got it cleanly, was able to turn and shoot.
Looks like she likes that bottom left corner. Yeah. Really, really hungry there. And I think we're seeing the sun playing a role here.
Excellent placement on that one, as it was right in the corner. Very little bounce as it tickled the twine there. 8:56 to go here in the first half. 6-3 Lancers, but the Bulldogs on a 2-goal run.
Mary Lenti back on the draw. Looks like it's working for them. See if she can pick it up again here. Self-serve.
There it is. They had Rogers.
Bedford's yelling at her to go. You got a self-start there when you hear a whistle.
The Lancers had Rogers on the draw there too, so Coach Durack trying to switch it up a little bit. Yeah, so that self-start is a relatively new rule here for the women's and girls game. I really like it.
Yeah.
It does catch the defenders a little off guard, and as you saw there, sometimes the attacking players, as we have a drive here, beautiful shot. Paige Gibson pulls the Bulldogs to within 2. Gibson drives from that back right.
That was fantastic
shot.
ball
Number
movement.
22, Paige Gibson.
Very low.
That comes back to what you were saying. Self-start, it can be an advantage, disadvantage. Sometimes you could hear the Bedford sideline, all those coaches yelling, "Go, Mary, go!" You just got to get moving, and it can help with, to your point, catch the defense off guard on the backside, and looked like a Bedford goal there. So, draw control.
So Paige Gibson coming up with a goal there, her first on the evening, first Bedford scorer that is not named Eloise Montagno. 8:19 to go here in the first half, and you're right, it comes back to these draw controls. Lenti having some success in a run here, and it's such an important part of the game. It can basically be a make it, take it if you can control that.
There you go, make it, take it, number 15.
Delory back in her stick. She'll give it up to Rogers, and the Lancers will settle. 8 minutes to go in the first half. 6-4 is your score. The Lancers ahead by 2. They were up 6-1, and then a 3-goal outburst brought the Bulldogs back to within 2.
The Bulldogs are staying pretty tight on the 8 here. Looks like an ISO, number 5.
Patty Kula goes near side and buries it. Offside hip, tough one for Hudson Rogers to catch up to. And that is Patty Kula's third on the day. Hattie for Lexi Patty Kula.
That was a well-executed play by Londonderry. Number 8 on Londonderry rolled the crease on the backside, left the defender alone. 1v1 on that spot. Really good ball placement on that shot there. Excellent work by Blue. We're seeing it firsthand. Draw control is playing a major role in this game's momentum. The defenses are looking good, but they're still getting some shots off. Bedford's playing pretty tight on the 8 too. They're not pushing out at all, so I wonder if they're going to switch that up a little bit in the second half or even here in this second quarter.
Speed and quickness play a huge role in that. If they feel like their defenders have the aptitude to do it, they'll do it. And Lenti comes away with the draw control. Gets possession for the Bulldogs and gets into the offensive third. 7.5 to go, 7-4. The Lancers as we approach halftime here. Paige Gibson from behind.
Pretty cool on this Bedford team. We got a lot of siblings. I see a lot of same last names. The Montagno sisters, Hodgson Rogers, the Rogers twins, Gibsons.
Yep.
We got a whole group here. That's pretty cool.
Gonna get a foul here on the Lancers in the loose ball. It's like Butler was called for it. Lenti couldn't quite get a shot off there as it was on the 12, not the 8.
A lot of traffic in Blue there.
Good defense, help defense, and adjacent slides there as Hodgson Rogers tried to probe.
Looks like Paige Gibson's going to try to roll the crease here. Ooh, charge.
Ooh, wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
I was not expecting that.
Tough call there. She took a hit. We're going to see it here on the replay as she rounds there from goal line extended. That is not a charge.
Looks like she got hit in the face there with the stick.
Yikes.
It's a tough one.
Brutal call on Gibson, and the Lancers pick up possession here. Just over 6 minutes to go in the first half, and they will settle things down as it's behind with Malia. Far side for Delory.
Looks like Carly Rogers coming out a little bit. Get a little action up from the top.
De Silva trying to put some pressure on Patty Kula.
Oh, she looked like she was going to rip that one.
Absolutely. Had her hands free. I'm surprised she didn't.
Yeah, Carly Rogers with a beautiful ground ball. And we're going to get a transition up the field on White.
The senior scrappy midfielder comes down with that GB and gets it up.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm surprised we didn't get a green or a yellow card there.
That looked, honestly, from my perspective, it looked like Eloise Montagano tripped over her own feet, but
You think?
I thought so.
Maybe I'm playing favoritism.
That's okay. You're allowed to do that. Bulldogs will settle. Paige Gibson at X. And for a 3-goal outburst.
Ooh,
it didn't-
lollipop pass.
There we go,
Never
Lindsay.
good.
Shooting space.
Yellow. Oh, no. Okay.
it looked
That
like
was just her
shooting
flag.
space,
That's
yeah.
just her flag. All right, Mary Lenti, what do we think we're going to see here? First time she was on this line here, she brought it all the way in and violated the crease. So let's see if we can get a shot off quick here.
Yeah, 2 steps, take a shot. This is a perfect
Just gotta
angle
rip
for
it.
the sun, right?
Get a little bit closer here. Wow, she's getting
wow.
all the way in there.
It did go.
Wow.
Went to the backhand there, and it kind of popped out of her stick awkwardly. This is probably one of the slowest goals
Yeah.
she's ever scored.
Slow motion goal, lollipop right in the back of the net behind the
Bingo.
goaltender.
But Lenti comes up with a big one
Comes
there
up
here
with it.
before halftime.
Bedford goal number 13, Mary Lenti.
I coached
Capitalizes.
Mary at Lurgio. She used to take our 8 meters quite often because she's a driver. Lurgio's our middle school, for those that don't know, and she would rip it right off the gate, right when the whistle would blow. So I haven't seen this strategy from her before.
Huh. Which, as a coach, which do you prefer your players to do? Take 1 or 2 steps, 1 or 2 cradles, and
One
try
or
to
two
bury a
steps, if you can. Hannah McCarthy, actually one of the assistant coaches, she used to do a riser right off the whistle, and that thing would go absolutely straight to the corner every time.
corner? Lenti getting some space. Good help defense by the Lancers. Yeah, honestly, I've seen it much more effective if you take 1 or 2 cradles,
gotta
a
rip it.
step or 2, and just try to bury.
Just got to rip it. But hey, worked for her. She got on the board, but hopefully we can see some more 8 meters from Bedford here.
So 7-5 is your score. The Lancers by 2.
What do we got in there? Some shooting space action?
Defensive 3 seconds.
Ooh.
Backside here, yeah.
Sometimes I forget about that one. But that's always good. We're getting them on the line here.
Yeah. Madison Grennan will get sent behind in an 8-meter here for Molly Muir.
Molly Muir. Looks like she's going to rip it.
Yeah, there it is. 2 steps.
Oh.
And Farrington comes up with it.
Oh.
Rebound.
Picked up by Eloise Montagano.
And saved again by Farrington. 2 huge saves there by Farrington. That could have been a 1-goal game. And the Bulldogs have to be somewhat disappointed on the free position and the rebound. They couldn't bury one of them.
One of my biggest coaching philosophies is you got to shoot to score. So Bedford keeps ripping the ball at the net. One of them is going to sink.
Here's Addison Doyle. And the Lancers will take it all the way behind to Malia.
The Lancers are moving the ball really well up and down the field, and when they're on offense, they're very successful in how they're moving. Everybody's off ball cutting. You can see all of it. I'm surprised she didn't draw shooting space there.
Yeah, Delory in. Nice little bounce shot there. Off-speed pitch from Butler, and she puts it back to a 3-goal game. Was able to drive through the middle there.
Look at that move. She switches all the way inside rolls, keeps it in her dominant hand, rips it in the 5-hole. Well done.
So that's Summer Butler's 3rd of the game. She has a Hattie as well.
Lots of Hatties on the Londonderry team today. They are, we've got a goaltender switch by the Bedford Bulldogs.
Irene Sy is going to take the cage for the Bulldogs. Somewhat surprising there with 3:10 left here in the first half. 8-5 is your score. The Lancers ahead by 3 as we approach halftime.
Irene Sy coached her as well at Lurgio. So she must be she's a senior.
She is a senior.
All right.
Ooh, tough one there. Looked like
Emerson Drown coming up with it on a scrappy ground ball. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Mary Lenti.
again, yeah. Delory won the draw and had it in her stick, but it popped out right to Lenti. So
All right, Mary
Bulldogs trying to get after
Oh,
it.
she's holding her stick a little bit low. Got a good check on there from number 9 on Londonderry. Molly Muir coming up.
That was Lindsay Lavoisier. Although I think it was number 8, Lillian Chiaramataro.
Scrappy draw, but it's working. We got a white offense here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. We got to take care of the ball.
Pressure there by
Good
Delory,
ground ball
causes
pickup.
the turnover, and as you say, great GB pickup. The Lancers back into transition. This is Summer Butler. Just over 2 minutes to go, a 3-goal lead for the Lancers. They try to get it to 4 and saved by Cy right off her melon.
Oof.
Surprised that's not considered a dangerous shot, right?
Yeah, I think they kind of just let it play out. Normally, I think she was far enough away, but as you can see on Londonderry, they're moving the ball pretty efficiently up the field. Looks like everybody's looking to shoot, so Bedford's got to be ready.
Peyton Baldock will pick it up for the Bulldogs. She was the closest when it went out, where it went out, a lacrosse rule.
Molly Muir showing her speed right now.
Running by defenders.
Look at her go.
Trying to cause an odd man. Cuts back to the middle. Shoots.
She goes
off the
coast to
pipe.
coast. Would have been awesome to hit that one.
Liza Montagano will chase down the Lucy in the far corner. 90 seconds to go here in the first half. 3-goal lead for the Lancers.
The Lancers' pressure defense is proving to be very successful for them today.
Muir. Far side. Goal line extended. Back to X. Little rocker step there.
Nice.
Therington can't.
No, that went in.
Yeah.
Paige Gibson.
Gibson gets her second of the day with just 1:04 left here in the first half.
22, Paige
This
Gibson.
rocker step, we can see that replay again, Andrew. Nice little rocker step as she gets her defender to freeze, pretends she's going to roll back, and then continues to her right side.
Very well done by
Here
Paige
it is,
Gibson.
right here. Pauses, fakes back to the right,
Nice.
turns over her left shoulder and gets it to trickle in.
Therington almost had that save too. Just looked like it got right under. Again, maybe the Sun's playing a role, but Bedford's coming back here. Keep that momentum in their favor.
Back to a 2-goal game. They need that momentum, and perhaps they can poke another one in here in the next 64 seconds before halftime. Lenti cannot control the draw. Eris Delory
Ooh.
does. And the Lancers with a possession here with under a minute to go. Good cut on the backside for Chiara Mataro.
Looks like the Lancers are going a pretty good 1v1. They're trying to ISO somebody, look for that draw and dump, and the Bedford Bulldogs are falling for it. They got to stay tight on their man up top, play good 1v1 defense to keep them from scoring here.
With 40 seconds, are you holding for one shot here, or are you trying to just play as you play?
I think I don't know. You know, I would try to go for it, but also you don't make it, then maybe give Bedford a chance to come back a little bit.
Tough one here. Bulldogs get called for shooting space.
Oh, they're asking for time to stop. All right, 15.
Here's Delory.
She likes the goal, and the goal likes her, so.
Top left of Cy. The goalie change.
Nice
pays
save.
off.
Nice save.
Irene Cy comes up with a big save there. Keeps it a 2-goal game with 10 seconds to go.
Somebody's open. Looks like they're a little bit too high up, though. Peyton Bulldog coming around.
Outlet pass to her right.
That's going to end it.
Melanie Gibson there. And that'll do it. The Bulldogs trailed 6-1 at one point early in the second. Were able to scrap back. The score is 8-6. We'll take a timeout here for halftime as the Bulldogs are hosting the Londonderry Lancers and the girls lacrosse team home opener. We'll see you on the other side for second half action here from Bedford High School.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business, with branches in Bedford, Manchester, Nashua, and Derry. PrimaryBankNH.com. Delta Dental, providing easy access to quality dental coverage for every smile, from your younger years to your golden years, with the nation's largest provider network. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing healthcare to meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Murphy's Tap Room and Carriage House Event Center, where meals turn into moments and conversations last a little longer. Murphy'sTapRoom.com.
Welcome back here to Bedford High School, where the girls lacrosse team is playing host to the Londonderry Lancers. Halftime score was 8-6. We are underway here in the third quarter. Emily, any thoughts from that first half?
Yeah, I think both teams look good. We got a lot of good goal scorers on the blue side. Looks like White's getting a little bit hungry. Mary Lenti with the quick shot, but I think ways Bedford can turn this around is picking up their man on defense and transition defense. We got to pick up the ball carrier a little bit faster here, and I think that we'll see some success.
We'll see what kinds of adjustments each of the coaches have made here at halftime, as Montagano there on the far side gets a little bit of a seam there, but it was closed down quickly. Nice adjacent help there.
Londonderry's doing a good job playing out pretty far, giving them a little bit of a run for their money, but Bedford's got to move off ball and look for those drawn dumps. With Montagano coming in, looks like she's going to see Mary Lenti. Quick shot.
Ooh. Tries to get the bounce shot to go, and the ball squirts underneath.
Ball is on the move.
The netting there. So having to chase it all the way to the fence is Paige Gibson.
Oh, they're stopping the clock. That's good.
Talk to the AD about that. Should be balls in that line.
There it is. So 8-6, the Bulldogs trying to pull within one here, first possession of this second half. Gibson starts it from behind. It gets back up top. Here's Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Dip dodge draws 3 defenders.
Ooh, what are they giving them here?
And she'll get the free position.
Nice lucky foul right inside that 8 meter. Gets her right on that center hash.
Farrington sets up. Shot. Bouncer. Wide left. Can't get it to go.
Almost lost that ball again there.
And Gibson chases it down. This time the netting does help. Appreciate that, Mr. Parker.
Eloise Montagano bringing it in through a bunch of people, bottom left again.
Great shot there. Montagano ran through at least 3, if not 4 defenders. Got the shot off and brings the Bulldogs to within 1, 8-7. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. Can't stop her as she gets to the cage, and the senior attacker has her 4th goal on the afternoon.
Comes from a wide angle. She comes all the way around outside that 8 meter and right on in, sneaks through everybody to get a goal.
And you're right, that same spot, low left. And that stick side for Farrington, you might think she'd be able to catch up to it, but her momentum is taking her to her left.
Yeah.
And that shot comes back down to her right. It's a tough save for the goalie as her momentum and movement is away from that shot. So 10:08 left here in this third quarter. 8-7 your score. The Bulldogs pull to within 1 on Eloise Montagano's 4th goal of the game.
Ooh, a little bit of a hold. Ooh, they're going to give that to Mary Lenti. Off they go. And again, for White. Yep. I think where Bedford needs to get a little bit stronger here on attack this half is we got to see some more off-ball movement. We've got a lot of people ball watching, Eloise Montagano running through all those defenses, but we really got to get a little bit more, defenders, excuse me. We got to get a little bit more off-ball movement here.
Yeah, and you can't rely on that amazing individual effort each time. Nice inside roll there by Gibson, gets stoned by Farrington.
Oh, beautiful defense by the Bedford Bulldogs.
Nice tip on the clear attempt. Montagano comes up with a loose ball.
They're playing with a sense of urgency, but part of me thinks they should slow down a little bit.
Here's Muir trying to get a shot off. Good defensive play there by the Lancers. Pushing her wide to the outside. That was Butler.
Here comes Mary Lenti inside. Ooh, gets pushed. No.
Crease violation.
Crease violation.
Crease.
You know, that's a tough call there. I think she was getting in that action a little bit, pretty strong on that crease roll. She comes up wide, turns. Oh.
Yeah, that left foot just stepped on the
in
line
right
there.
before the push.
Lancers turn it over though. They were looking upfield for Cora Rogers. She can't wrangle it, so the Lancers turn it over. Bulldogs will try to get it into the offensive end.
Mel Gibson looking to get active here. Sees Liza Montagano. That could have been a little bit scary there.
Dancing along this near side sideline. Just inches away from a turnover of their own, but they get it all the way behind. Here's Eloise Montagano.
What do you think about their urgency? You think they got to be playing like strong, or maybe take a second, run some plays, and see what they can do?
They seem to be a bit more deliberate here in the second half.
I agree.
Have a more of a nose for the goal. They're taking on the defenders in a one-on-one type situation.
Londonderry is ready on that defense, though. Offsetting fouls.
Yeah, here's what we were talking about before the game, right?
So typically when you pick your side, there's also a possession that goes into play. So when you have offsetting fouls like that or a simultaneous foul, they give the ball to whoever had AP. So in this case, it's blue. So the next one, we're going to see white get the ball.
Oh, we got defensive 3 seconds. We do.
Oh, boy.
So free position for Butler, top left of Cy. Although she was far enough out, so she's only on
Indirect.
the 12 meter. Yeah, there we go.
Very good.
Defense has an opportunity to crash, and they do, preventing a shot. Pass to Doyle.
Here we
Knocks
go.
it off. Molly Muir showing some wheels.
Molly Muir, wheels all the way.
Drawing defender after defender. She has the near side odd man, but good help defense there. Avery Callahan chasing her down from behind.
Little misstep on white there. We should have had some white jerseys ahead of Muir for a pass outside, but instead they were a little bit tight, resulting in a turnover.
And away Avery Callahan comes with the ball. So Lancers will try to clear it up the far sideline. Great hustle there. Looks like Lenti trying to chase her down from behind.
Lenti.
Stick check. Ooh. They say a little dangerous check there.
You'll take that, though. Slows it down a tiny bit, gives Muir a second, catch her breath, get back down there on the defensive side. So not great on the swing, but you can take it as a coach.
That's another rule change that I really appreciate the girls' game has made as far as free movement after a penalty or
yes.
foul. That players used to have to stay exactly where they were, and upon the reset, they were then able to move. I like the free movement as it has created the ability for defenses to recover, the ability for offenses to sneak behind, just all sorts of different aspects of that, which I like.
Yeah, it keeps the game moving a little bit faster. Ooh, nice stick.
Although it pops right to Butler. Butler, saves Cy. Cy thought it went in, but it did not. It looks like actually that's Natalie Bellinger that's in there. Number 9, the sophomore.
Oh,
goalkeeper.
yeah. Oh.
You got a yellow here?
Annabelle
Malia will be sent off. I didn't see the yellow come out, did you?
I didn't.
But she is being sent off.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the other sided ref. It wasn't the one closest to us here.
Gotcha. So now the Bulldogs with a player advantage here.
Only one goal so far in this quarter, and it was by the Bulldogs.
Nugent tried to split the D there. Ball pops out.
Timeout, Bedford.
I'm not sure they can call timeout when it's not their ball, can they?
She called it right before possession changed, it looked like.
Okay. Wow.
That was a pretty lucky call, I think, on that side there.
Yeah, there's some confusion here. The officials are going to come together and chat about it because depending on the timing of that timeout, they may or may not have gotten it before the change of possession. That seemed kind of strange because it was clearly the Lancers' ball, and yet Bedford called timeout. So the officials will talk it over. In the meantime, the Bulldogs have brought it back to a one-goal game. 8-7 is your score. 4:54 remaining here in the third quarter. The scoring has definitely slowed down as we had 5 goals in that first quarter, a combined 9 goals in the second quarter. We only have 1 here in the third quarter so far, and that was Eloise Montagano's 4th on the day. The senior attacker pulling the Bulldogs back to within 1. Emily, 5 minutes left to go here in this third. Obviously, some of those changes at halftime defensively have played out well.
Absolutely.
On the offensive side, you've been urging this Bedford Bulldog team to get more off-ball movement. We haven't necessarily seen that, but we have seen the urgency kick up a notch or two.
Yeah, I think that the intensity is definitely up. Not sure what Coach Hodgson told them at halftime, but it seems like they wanted a bit more here in the second half. We're definitely seeing some urgency, a little bit more grit on ground balls and draw control. I mean, I'll tell you, I'll say it until the cows come home. Draw control and ground balls are going to win games. Bedford's got 1 draw control in this half, and they've got a goal within 1. Next one we see, I think we're going to see a goal off of it.
Yeah, we used to call them 50-50 balls, those chances that it's almost even for either team to come up with it, right? Those ground balls, they show hustle, they show determination. If you're able to control those, what people think may be smaller things, they turn into bigger things.
Absolutely.
Possessions, goals, and make it take it type situations on those draws. Now, you said Coach Hodgson at halftime, I've never seen her in the locker room. Was she throwing chairs around? Was she smashing people against lockers? What was she doing in there at halftime?
No, she's a very, very, very good coach. She gives very good criticism. I like to call it like a compliment sandwich. She'll hit you with something good. She'll give you the constructive criticism, and then she'll give you guys another good thing.
There it is.
I learned from the best. She did teach me how to coach, so.
I like to think of those as Oreo cookies, too. Right?
Yeah.
Compliment, maybe a constructive criticism followed by a compliment, right? Here, Hodgson-Rogers will slow things down. Carly Hodgson-Rogers with a great clear, avoiding defender after defender. Now we'll get that clock going here momentarily.
Yeah, I think she brought the intensity, and she sets the tone really, really well. She keeps you composed, but she also lets you know that it's time to go. And we need some goals to get back in this game.
Ooh, tough.
She's done a good job there.
Gibson with an errant pass with a turnover there for the Lancers.
See if she can get it back here.
There was an example of the fluid motion there. Just, hey, keep going. Avery Callahan was able to scoop up her own drop. The Lancers getting it through the midfield.
A lot of speed on both sides here. Really good ball carriers with some speed up the field on both white and blue.
An interesting goalie change that we noted in that first possession for the Lancers as Natalie Bellinger, the sophomore, has come in. 2 seniors on the sideline for Coach Hodgson.
Looks like the Lancers are trying to move the ball around a little bit because they got that yellow card up there. Probably another minute or so.
Like a couple of empty checks there, nothing called. Inside 4 minutes.
Yeah, not sure what was going on there, but Bedford's got to play out a little bit further. You're trying to get the ball back. You got to be careful of this, where you got to drive in, but you also got to be mindful of letting them waste the clock.
Good help defense on the crash. Looked like Carly Hodgson-Rogers getting a stick check in as Cora Rogers was driving strong hand to her right. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The Lancers up by 1, 8-7.
Good defense here by Andy Nugent.
Backside cut, Butler buries high. Great cut on that backside. And Butler now has 4.
Emerson Drown got caught looking to help a little bit too high, left her girl wide open, and that's what I was talking about, where you play a little bit too far out when they're trying to get the ball around, and then they find that hole. They found that gap, and they scored.
Yeah, and great pass there from Lexi Padikula as she saw the cut from behind. I'm not sure they announced an assist, but I'm sure she would get one in the scorebook. 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. 9-7 the score, the Lancers by 2.
Here we go, draw control.
We've been chirping it all game, and we're seeing it play out. Let's see what happens here. Lenti. And there's an empty. There
You'll
you go.
notice on the Bedford side, on that defensive side, they're putting an extra man down there to help a little bit off the draw. If Londonderry wins, they will pick up the ball carrier.
I love that adjustment. And honestly, with that flexibility, they should do that every single time.
Absolutely.
You prevent those fast breaks. You prevent the odd person situations where a little tic-tac-toe can create the one-on-one with your goalie.
I learned that from Coach Hodgson as well. See, we're getting a lot of close checks here right inside. So Bedford's either leaning a little bit low, letting them get it, or we're just getting away with it on the Londonderry side. Number 1, showing some speed, Melanie Cowick.
Oh.
Yellow card by,
Looks like Gibson's going to be sent off.
Not happy with that one.
Tough one there. It looked like maybe a wayward stick check to a face. Yeah, there you go. So the
Calling it a good slash there all the way through.
Uncontrolled check will send Paige Gibson off to that far side. 2:12 to go in the third quarter. A 2-goal lead here by the Lancers, and they have possession and a man-up opportunity.
See, that's tough. That's what I was talking about before, where you kind of let them play out that foul, and we kind of saw it a little bit down there on the attacking side with Gibson trying to shoot. Looks like she took the frustration out a little bit down there on their training line. Punished for it.
Cutter through the middle.
Really punished for it on that goal by number 15.
Absolutely. Back to Delory.
Delory's having a good day.
3 goals. I don't know how many draw controls.
Definitely quite a few.
So, Delory.
Londonderry goal, number 15, Eris Delory.
Back to a 3-goal game for the Lancers. 10-7 your score.
Bedford's keeping that extra attacker down, on the defensive side. Trying to see if they can help, but we got to get a draw control here. Get back in this game a little bit. 10-7.
And so those positions, it's basically taking an attacker and putting them on the defensive end. It's likely more of a midfielder, but the numbers make it so it's possible to do, and I just love the strategic play. The Lancers control the draw, and now they're going to try to take further advantage of this extra man opportunity.
Bedford's given them a lot of space here on attack. Interesting for them to kind of back up a little bit. I think we got to put a little bit more pressure out. Adjacents need to be big.
There you go. Beautiful find in the middle. Delory again. 4th one for her. I believe from Butler up top.
What do you do if you're Coach Hodgson here? What do you think? 11-7.
Well, you got to stay out of the box. That's number 1. So get it back to an even kind of situation, and you're going to give your team a heck of a lot better chance to score goals and certainly prevent these goals. So that's number 1. Again, I'm not sure if that was just a frustration foul or kind of one of those mindless fouls, whatever it was. You can't do that for your team. And again, it's not like in other sports where you score a goal, that penalty is released. That person is locked in.
Yep. So
they serve full time for that penalty, and now the Lancers have won another draw and are going to put pressure on this defense again.
You're right, and that's I misspoke. I didn't even realize. I kind of forgot Gibson was still sitting in there. So Bedford D just needs to have their sticks up. They got to be big. They're man down. Everyone's got to be on it.
Yeah, I was a little confused as you were mentioning that, as you're saying pressure the adjacents. You can't do that when you're man down. You have to be a little more conservative, as Delory had a shot there. She got wiped out there in the middle. And they do call the foul, so it looks like Delory will have the free position top right of Bellinger.
You just got to get your stick in there on this one.
There it is. She
pulls it out.
That is a surprise move there.
Interesting, especially given you're up by, I mean, all right, they're just going to, I don't know. I wouldn't wait the clock out if you're waiting on a yellow card here, but.
Rogers in the middle. Little sidearm shot gets in. So Rogers picks up her first of the game. And a 4-goal spurt has the Lancers ahead.
Not a whole lot you can do on that, but I think
Londonderry goal for number 16, Cora Rogers.
Gibson's probably feeling it over there. We saw it before. We can see it again. They can come back from this. We got to get big on the defensive side here.
That's a tough one. Again, that foul is still locked in, so they've scored at least 3 goals in that time. Lenti comes away with an important draw control. Time to settle things down here for the Bulldogs and get at least the last shot with 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Liza Montagano behind to Eloise, now back to Liza.
Ooh, they're going to give her a card on that one. They want the clock off? Oh, no.
See Gibson is released from her foul.
Okay, no, just stopping the clock here. Sending them back.
Montagano draws.
Beautiful pass.
Nice try. Eloise Montagano just needed one more step to glory, coming around, goal line extended. Couldn't quite get the angle, and that'll do it. Third quarter expires. The Bulldogs trail by 5 as the Lancers go on a 4-goal run there at the end of the third quarter and lead 12-7 after 3.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
We just wanted to make sure that we thank our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. That's Primary Bank, Northeast Delta Dental, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Murphy's Tap Room and Carriage House Event Center. Appreciate their underwriting support of our live sports coverage for both BCTV and WBNH. As we have a live broadcast here this afternoon, a beautiful spring day. We've had some great weather this week. 80s a little bit earlier this week, Monday or Tuesday. We're getting a taste of it before it goes back down to the 40s on Monday. I can't wait. Should be good. Anyway, 5-goal game here. The Lancers ahead 12-7. Emily, thoughts on heading into this fourth quarter? Coach Hodgson saw some urgency there at the start of the third quarter. Now she needs a little bit more as they have a 5-goal gap to make up.
Yeah, I think when you look at time of possession in that quarter alone, Londonderry dominated. I don't think Bedford had offensive possession for more than a minute at most, maybe 2. I think they got to keep that sense of urgency, win the draw, and stay out of the box, like you said. I mean, that was a very unfortunate penalty resulting in 4 goals in a very short amount of time.
Tough one there. Tough spurt to try to come back from, too. However, we've seen them do it. They rattled off 3 in a row in that second quarter. Again, they won that quarter as they brought it back to within 2 goals at halftime. They have their work cut out for them, but it's not an insurmountable task here as we are ready to start this fourth quarter. 12 minutes back on the board. We're ready to go. A couple quick notes on next broadcast. Again, you'll see the girls lacrosse team take on Bishop Girton on Wednesday, May 6th at 5:30. Other sports, softball will take on the Alvern Broncos on Monday the 20th. That's 4 p.m. at the start. The boys lacrosse team will take on the Manchester Kings. That's a combined team from Memorial and Manchester Central. That's next Wednesday the 22nd, 4 p.m. start. And the baseball team will take on the Concord Crimson Tide Monday the 27th. First pitch at 4:30 p.m. Draw control. Seemed like a foul there, and it goes in favor of the Lancers, and Delory gets another. And they will certainly take their time each offensive possession. Try to draw it out, although a wayward pass there gets by Patty Kula.
11 and a half minutes to play. What? Oh.
High ripper here. Rogers finds the top of the net.
Rogers. Another one in the second half for her.
Ellinger couldn't quite keep up with that one. You can see here Rogers gets to the side.
Number 16, Cora
Right
Rogers.
sidearm shot.
Beautiful pick set. I can't tell who it was. I want to say number 16 moved, drew the defender. She couldn't quite get there, got stuck behind her own girl. Awesome ripper, top right.
We see that replay again, Andrew. See if we can pick up the Lancer who set that pick. Beautiful.
Number
we go.
6,
Number
I'm
6,
sorry.
here it is. Yeah, a little-
Beautiful move, and it gave number 16 an excellent gateway to shoot.
You know, it wasn't really even a solid wall of a pick. It was just enough to get the defender
Just
to try to
enough.
sink under it, and she couldn't quite get there. So gives Rogers enough space to rip that righty sidearm. And Rogers found another goal. 13-7. The Lancers ahead by 6. Here.
Molly Muir looking to go to goal. Gets a nice foul here. Gonna get on that second hash. Oh, they're giving her, yep, second hash.
The Bulldogs are going to need these kinds of aggressive offensive moves to try to get back in this. Muir, ready to go. Farrington taking an unusual stance, pretty far wide, but
Paige Gibson there to pick it up.
shot from Muir goes wide left. Lenti tries to drive to her left, now back to the right. Gets inside,
Nice.
buries high. Lenti with a goal, her second on the day.
I'm gonna say I'm very impressed with the Londonderry defense. They are aggressive and they are putting pressure on the Bedford Bulldogs. Mary Lenti, excellent work.
They're forcing the Bulldogs to show some stick skills too as well.
Absolutely.
You know, can you pass and catch? If I get a stick anywhere near your face, are you going to be too nervous to catch this ball? So
Yep. They're making them force some passes, some shots on the net, but you know, you got to shoot to score, and Mary Lenti ripped that one in the back.
got a little bit of an edge, got her stick free, was able to bury high. Therington couldn't catch up to it. So 13-8, 5-goal lead, and Lenti comes away with the draw. That really didn't seem like it got very high at all, but Lenti corralled it.
You know, sometimes they'll make them redraw when it doesn't go that high. So she's gotten away with a couple of those today. But I think if your arm goes up and you're looking like you're going, they're going to give it to her, and she's gotten lucky there. It's 3-2 on the draw control in this quarter here. I'm sorry, in this half.
Bulldogs back to their settled offense. Here's Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Getting defended well beyond the 8-meter. She gets a step here, dips the shoulder.
Looked like she tripped, but then they checked her when she was falling, so
Yikes.
she's going to get that first hash.
Bailed her out. Tough angle here, though. So no real chance for an immediate scoring position unless you get a cut offside.
Good crash and a good look to Mary. Oof, yep.
Tried to jam it into the middle for Liza Montagano as she was cutting, but nice defensive play to bat it away.
You like it, though. They're looking like they're goal hungry, and they definitely need it with a 13-8.
And there's that pressure we were talking about.
Excellent pressure, but great box out for that ground ball by Mary Lenti. Shooting space. What do you think? Is she going to rip it, or is she going to bring it in a little bit?
Man, I hope she shoots early.
Me too.
Coac.
Yeah.
Excuse me, no, it's Avery Callahan. It looked like Coac.
Oh, and she rips it.
Does. Misses the cage.
Oh,
It
and
goes to the left.
It falls out on Bedford. Oh, interesting. Looked like it ended up out on Londonderry, but it was tough from that angle for the ref.
Looked like Stowe was trying to scoop it up, and neither team had possession, so they might have still considered it a shot, which is a little strange.
Oh.
Now the Lancers miss a connection in the midfield.
Ooh. I'm surprised the ref didn't see her just check right in her head, but that's all right.
Carly Hodgson-Rogers settles things down, brings it back out top for Lenti. She'll approach, goes to her left hand.
Oh.
Checked from behind.
So you can see it right now. Bedford's got no off-ball movement. We've got somebody going on. They're trying to go 1v1. They get a crash on Londonderry. Somebody should be moving off-ball to try to get a draw and dump situation. But you got Paige Gibson bringing it in with a nice save.
Inside roll.
Ooh,
They call her in the crease. And Farrington made a great save up high, too. was able to stone Gibson right on that doorstep. It was irrelevant as Gibson stepped into the crease. 7:40 to go in this game. The Lancers ahead 13-8, 5-goal lead for the visiting Londonderry squad.
Definitely feels like there's been a momentum shift here. Oh, and you can see it again. Here we go. Melanie Gibson going to goal.
Offside
Execution.
shot. The defender coming all the way into the offensive end, coming up with a great ground ball. And Melanie Gibson is able to bury for her first goal on the game.
We're going to get a timeout from Londonderry, looks like.
Goal number 11, Mel Gibson.
You know, I did misspeak on the draw control, but what I will say is we are, I think in this quarter alone, Bedford is dominating. And you can tell the momentum has shifted. They're looking good. They're scoring goals. They got to keep this momentum if they want to come back. But very good timeout call by Londonderry's coaching staff to try to get a quick breather.
Coach Durak wants to settle things down, get her top line players a little breath here as they've been playing a decent amount of defense in the last few minutes. As you mentioned, all throughout this game, draw control is being so critical. We've seen it turn out throughout the game. We've seen it here early in this fourth quarter with Lenti and Gibson scoring the last two. The Lancers had gone on a 5-goal run starting back in that third quarter. When it was 8-7, they rattled off 4 at the end of the third and then another here to start the fourth. 2 by Rogers capped it all off. Pushed it out to a 13-7 lead, but now the Bulldogs have scored the last 2, brought it back to within a 4-goal game. Exciting times here at Bedford High School Stadium. Emily, these last 7.5 minutes, what do you expect?
I think we're going to see a lot of aggression on both sides, but if I were the Londonderry coach right now, I would be telling my team, you know, you're up. You just got to keep the momentum, possession time on defense. I like to always say, you know, if you get a minute and a half defensive set, you're doing your job well. Even if they score, it's a job well done. I think we're going to see some pretty aggressive draw controls here, and it's going to look good.
We'll see what they do. And again, great timeout by Coach Kelsey Durak. If you're enjoying today's broadcast, BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easier to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on Apple iOS and Android. Download the Bedford Community Television app from your app store today. Back to the draw circle. Lenti and Delory have been battling all day.
It's interesting. I think they're both trying to get the ball to a certain spot, and it's not really working. Their girls are never where the ball goes, and it ends up being the 2 taking the draw that come up with that ground ball.
In that case, Delory with the control, and the Lancers, again, will take their time on offense. A 4-goal lead, 7 to go in this game. Butler near side. Patty Kula. A couple of offside cuts, but nicely defended off ball.
Looks like they're trying to do a little bit more pressure out, but I think Bedford's being pretty mindful of the 1v1, trying to eliminate that.
Rogers again, top side, spin dodge,
Ooh.
got to her right hand, shot was high and left though, outside of the cage.
Looked good. They tried to get the defenders a little bit isolated on that side. The benefit of the way they just had that formation is if they do go to goal and they all crash, you've got a shooting space call. So that was a well drawn up play by Londonderry.
Back into free movement. Freelance here.
Ball down.
Addison Doyle will chase it down. Actually, that's Molly Leone, I believe. Nope.
Londonderry's playing
Malia.
with some patience here, as they should with the lead they've got, less than 6 to play.
Rogers gets space. Save.
Nice save.
Well done by Bellinger, but the rebound there was not controlled. Scooped up quickly and put in. Lexi Patikula will get her 4th of the day.
Londonderry goal number 5, Lexi Patikula.
It's a tough go. Looked like pretty good defense by Bedford. Great save, just couldn't come up with that ground ball. Quick scoop and score.
Yeah, and a tough one there for the keeper. Again, Natalie Bellinger was there, made the first save, just couldn't control the rebound, and it squirts free right to Lexi Patikula's stick. One-on-one with the goalie is tough for the goalie each and every time. Back to a 5-goal lead, 14-9. And we're back to the draw circle. 5:49 left in this game. The Lancers have led most of the way.
Yeah.
Jumped out to a 3-0 lead, stretched it out to 6-1 before the Bulldogs really made a dent in it.
Yeah, it looked good in the beginning of that third quarter there with that halftime, but that penalty really set Bedford back a little bit, and it seems like really caught up to them, and they're not going to be able to. Here we go.
Molly Muir rolls away. Ball pops out, but the Bulldogs pick up that ground ball.
You never know. You get a good yellow card from the other team. All right.
Gibson
Here we go,
rounds the
Gibson.
corner. That's Paige Gibson rounding the corner. She's got a hat trick on the day. 14-10.
Number 22, Paige Gibson.
This has been a game of momentum, huh? We got a lot of runs. It seems like we've got a couple goal runs from blue, a couple goal runs from white. I think Bedford could use a yellow card on the Londonderry side and see a little bit of a goal-scoring opportunity here, but
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to
you hate to see it, but
build your offense around the hopes of a penalty, but certainly that would help.
yes. I think that they've got this. They just got to keep playing hard.
Lexi Patikula comes up with the ground ball and another draw control for the Lancers.
This has got to be a big stop by White here.
And to your point earlier, these girls on the defensive side for Bedford need to start pressing out. They need to start putting some pressure on the Lancers. To
Yeah,
try to
Lancers are
force
going to run the clock now. You can see it.
spreading their offense really wide, making short passes, ensuring possession. The absolute right thing to do with a 4-goal lead here. Although now they're going to try to go one-on-one. Shot.
Oh,
Ooh.
Peyton Bolduck with that save. Looked like an unsafe shot. She's going to get a yellow card for
Yeah,
that.
she is.
But Peyton Bolduck with her stick right up in the air there.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful job. Well done by Peyton Bolduck.
Well, could that not have been considered shooting space? Or
No, she led with her stick, and she
Okay.
was already there. So when she released that shot, Peyton was not in a position to be in shooting space. She
Okay.
was actually, she shouldn't have shot that.
yeah, there you go. And again, so that was Lexi Patikula will get sent off for that dangerous shot.
Oh.
Check there on Molly Muir as she tried to run through the defense.
Molly Muir not too happy here.
But the Lancers will get possession. They'll get told to
What's going
retreat.
on? Oh, she's backing up.
Chiara Mataro.
All right, so Bedford is up. They're still not pressuring out.
And the clock ticks down to 4
And they're going to
minutes
try to
go.
run a little bit of a backer here.
Looks like they're going to try to double it.
See how Five's just going to follow the ball, but Emerson Drown's got to get out there.
Yeah, this is only effective when you're trying to cut off that adjacent pass.
Yeah, we don't have enough. We need body on ball and body on adjacents here.
So 3.5 to go. The Lancers, despite being down a player, are still able to keep possession here. Nice job by Londonderry to try to burn off this penalty situation.
Very good job, but I'm very shocked that Bedford isn't out further right now. Everybody should be right on their girl, almost, if not touching them right now.
Yeah, and you can see on the far sideline, Molly Muir doing that. She's
Yeah.
shutting off that adjacent. They need all of the players to do that. These
And-
open passes are
right.
just too easy.
They're man up, so I would just keep a guy right on that 8 meter, kind of floating around, not in 3 seconds. And then if somebody does try to go to goal, you're right there to help. Interesting, very interesting. The Lancers are doing an excellent job moving the ball. This looks good for blue.
Rogers gets a step. She'll take it to
Oh
goal.
boy.
Tough one there. Shot was partially blocked, and the Bulldogs will gain possession as they chase it out.
A little bit surprised by that one. Looked like Rogers might have maybe been there. I think that was 16. Yep, on that backside. Here we go. Carly Hodgson-Rogers running up the field, showing some speed. Eloise Montagano with the beautiful scoop, a little bit low.
Rolled away from pressure.
We got a
too. Nice
lot
job.
of people on the ball there, and we're going to get a little bit of a hack here.
They call Oh, yeah.
Somebody hit her in the head, so we're going to get another penalty here for blue.
So now a 2-player advantage?
2-player advantage for 16 more seconds. Is this releasable here if they score or no?
No.
Not in high school? Okay.
And it looked like the first foul might have been released too, as there's nobody serving at this point in time. So 2:16 left.
Bedford timeout.
Bedford takes a timeout. The score is 14-10 as Coach Hodgson wants to get a goal quickly here and get back to that draw circle for the opportunity to do it right away. If you're interested in becoming a high school sports official, it's an easy call. You like the pun there? It's well written here. Officiating allows you to continue to be a role model by demonstrating qualities such as impartiality, fairness, and courage. High school sports officials help protect the integrity of the games we love by teaching and enforcing the rules of play. New officials have an opportunity to make a difference in their communities right away. To learn more about becoming a high school sports official, please visit nhiaa.org. We had a significant lack of football officials for a couple years in a row. I think we've stemmed the tide on that, but anybody out there that's interested in becoming an official for any sport, please reach out. 2:16 left in this game. A 4-goal lead by the Lancers. 14-10 is your score. The Bulldogs have the ball and a player advantage. As we saw an aggressive foul there, I believe a stick to the head by one of the Lancers. I believe it was Delory that was sent out. Can't quite tell what number that is over there.
It's definitely
Nope, not Delory,
12.
it's 12. Avery Callahan.
Yeah.
Man, you have good eyes. Appreciate that. I had to use the binoculars.
So we're going to get a Eloise Montagno indirect down at the, I forget what those dots are called, I'm not going to lie.
The weird floating hash.
Yeah,
right?
the
Isn't
weird, oh, it might be the hanging hash. Is it the hanging hash? Oh, crazy.
Backside.
Oh, Paige Gibson picks it up.
Harrington stuffs her up high, though. Stands tall in her cage and comes up with a huge save for the Lancers.
You know, the Bulldogs are swinging quite a bit. You don't want to get yourselves into a yellow card disadvantage here. Got to take care of their sticks and the ball. Again, during that timeout, hopefully, looks like Coach Hodgson wants them to stay a little bit closer just to be safe with the deficit here, but.
Yeah, but again, they need the defensive.
Oh no,
team.
looks like they're pushing out. Looks like they're pushing out a little bit.
Yeah, on the backside they are, but this near player was open.
Yeah.
They need to try to force those passes to players that are covered, and right now, Lexi Patikula is just chilling on the outside perimeter, way out wide as Carly Hodgson-Rogers gets called for a push. Just over a minute to go in a 4-goal game. Looks like the Lancers are going to come out and even their record at 1-1. Coach Durack has to be pleased with the output this afternoon. 5 goals on the day for Eris Delory, 4 each for Summer Butler and Lexi Patikula. Another chipped in, 2 chipped in by Rogers.
Very job well done by Blue today. Excellent defense, I think, made a major difference in this game. They were shutting down Bedford's goal scorers, which proved to be Eloise Montagno and Paige Gibson.
You said it from the start, too. Draw control is such an important aspect of the girls' game here. And Eris Delory not only scored 5 goals, but she had a bunch of draw controls throughout.
She had a dominant game. She was everywhere. She was on the ball in the air, on the ball on the ground, and she was getting the ball in the back of the net. Job well done by Eris
Nice job
Delory.
by her. The senior is going to keep it in her stick for the last 3 to 4 seconds here, and that'll do it this afternoon. The Lancers come to Bedford with a 0-1 record. They even it at 1-1 as they come home with victory. 14-10 is the final. Emily, I really appreciate you joining me in the box today here.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts as we close out this broadcast?
Yeah, I think both teams had a very good game. very early in the season, so time's going to tell. I think we're going to see both these teams playing again towards the end of the season.
We will see how it plays out. Next girls lacrosse broadcast again Wednesday, May 6th, 5:30 p.m. draw. Other upcoming sports, softball will take on Alvern on Monday the 20th. Boys lacrosse on the 22nd. That'll be at 4 p.m. for both of those. And then baseball will take on the Crimson Tide from Concord on Monday the 27th. That'll do it here as Londonderry comes to town and puts a hurting on the Bulldogs. 14-10 is the final. We will join you for action next time from Bedford High School. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger for Emily O'Keefe. We'll see you next time on BCTV.